let's just dive right into this explainer because today we are unraveling a seriously chilling 300-year-old mystery. We're talking about Bhangarh Fort. It's this completely abandoned city in Rajasthan, India, and here's the kicker. No one is legally allowed to enter it at night. It's widely considered the single most haunted place in all of India. And let me tell you, the story surrounding how this place suddenly fell to ruins, absolutely fascinating. Now, you might be thinking this is just some spooky campfire story to keep teenagers out, right? Nope. It is a strict, government-enforced legal ban. The Archaeological Survey of India, the official body that looks after historical sites, literally put up signs stating that entry is strictly prohibited in the dark. You can visit in broad daylight, sure, but you absolutely must be out before the sun dips below the horizon. Part 1, a thriving kingdom turns to dust. Because before it became famous for paranormal activity and government warnings, Bhangarh was a bustling, really prosperous city nestled right in the beautiful Aravalli Hills. The fort itself was built way back in 1573 by King Bhagwant Das of Amer. He built it as a grand royal residence for his younger son, Madho Singh, and it was a massive architectural achievement for its time. It was truly designed to be the crown jewel of the whole region. And this wasn't just some quiet little military outpost. At its peak, over 9,000 people lived happily inside these walls. We're talking about a thriving, vibrant community with markets, grand palaces, and everyday homes. Think about a busy university campus or a small town near you. Now imagine it totally thriving one day and then becoming a completely terrifying ghost town the very next. That's what makes its sudden transformation into an empty ruin just so baffling. Part 2, the curse of the ascetic. So, how exactly does a thriving city just die? Well, the historical records are completely silent on this, which leaves us with some incredibly dark folklore. Let's look at the first of two legendary suspects, a terrifying curse from a local ascetic. You know, a holy man who practices extreme self-discipline, named Guru Balunath. According to local lore, Balunath meditated right near the site of the fort. He actually allowed the grand construction to happen, but with one absolute non-negotiable rule. The fort's shadow must never, ever touch his meditation spot. Now, the first two generations of rulers respected the holy man and strictly complied with this. But the third generation, well, they made a fatal mistake. They ignored the warning and decided to raise the fort's height. And the moment the shadow of those newly heightened walls touched his meditation spot, his furious curse supposedly wiped out Bhangarh. The legend goes that the ascetic's wrath was so intense, it didn't just doom the fort, but it was actually blamed for the devastating 1783 Chalisa famine. That was a real historical tragedy that killed millions across northern India. Even today, locals swear that if anyone tries to build a roof over a house in the Bhangarh area, it just mysteriously collapses. Part 3, Obsession and Dark Magic. Okay, let's look at the second legend, because this one builds an even darker narrative around the fort's ultimate demise. This one's got it all: royalty, obsession, and the dark arts. It's a terrifying clash of total opposites. On one side, we've got the beautiful Princess Ratnavati. She was royal, wise, and famous across kingdoms for her immense beauty. And on the other side, Tantric Scindia. He was an obsessed practitioner of dark, esoteric magic who was utterly desperate to possess the princess, even though he knew full well he could never have her through normal means. So Scindia hatched a devious plan. First, the princess's maid went down to the market to buy some hair oil. Second, Scindia sneaks in and secretly casts a dark bewitching spell on that exact bottle of oil. Third, the oil gets brought back to Ratnavati, but she immediately senses the trick and just smashes the cursed oil onto a large rock. And fourth, the dark magic actually seeps into the stone, causing this massive boulder to roll totally on its own and gruesomely crush Scindia. But with his dying breath trapped beneath that boulder, the Tantric unleashed a terrifying curse. He swore that everyone in Bhangarh would be killed and their souls would be forced to wander the ruins forever. Locals genuinely believe this curse, followed by what was supposedly a bloody massacre, sealed the doom of everyone in the city, trapping them as restless spirits. Part 4, Echoes of the Paranormal. Now, those old curses lay the groundwork for what people experience today. Let's get into the chilling paranormal phenomena reported by locals and those brave, or maybe foolish, visitors who've dared to hang around the ruins after sundown. The stories here are deeply unsettling. Locals swear that after dark, the ruins literally come to life. They report a phantom royal court assembling in the empty halls and an invisible marketplace just bustling with energy. People claim they hear sounds of screaming, chilling laughter, and the very distinct clinking of kungros, those traditional musical bangles. And the most frightening claim of all, that anyone who actually manages to stay the entire night inside the fort never comes back sane or alive. Part 5. Myth versus reality. Okay, let's step out of the shadows for a second and look at this logically. What do history and modern investigations actually tell us about Bhangarh? When we contrast the myths with documented reality, things get pretty interesting. One legend says a brutal war with the neighboring region of Ajibgarh wiped out the city, right after the Tantric's curse. The actual fact? There is zero historical record of any such war ever happening. Also, folklore says ghosts violently protect the ruins, but historically speaking, it's way more likely that greedy treasure hunters just invented those ghost stories centuries ago, to scare off competitors from digging for hidden royal gold. To try and settle the debate once and for all, investigative teams like the Paranormal Society of India and even some major news channels have actually spent the night inside the fort. They went in fully equipped with electronic devices specifically designed to detect anomalous energies and sniff out the truth in the pitch black. So what did these daring investigations actually find? Well, that's the crucial point. While they did record some strange, anomalous readings on their equipment, they found absolutely zero solid proof of the supernatural. No ghosts on camera, no phantom markets, no wandering souls captured on audio. Which really suggests that a lot of this overwhelming fear might just be in our heads. Ironically enough, the very thing meant to protect people might actually be causing the fear. The strict government ban totally fuels the paranoia. It primes visitors to expect something terrifying. I mean, have you ever spooked yourself walking down a dark hallway just because you recently watched a horror movie? It's exactly like that, but on a massive scale. Because this folklore is so deeply rooted, people become highly susceptible to hallucinating invisible presences, feeling sudden cold spots, or hearing phantom noises, even when they're walking around in broad daylight. And that brings us to the true underlying historical mystery of Bhangarh. We know exactly how it was born. We have the year, the king, the purpose. It's all documented fact. But it's sudden, absolute destruction. It's a complete blank page. There is absolutely no official explanation for why a thriving city of 9,000 people was just suddenly abandoned. Since history completely fails to tell us what caused the city's sudden collapse, we're left with this massive, fascinating void between historical fact and supernatural folklore. And, nature abhors a vacuum. So, in the absence of hard facts, human imagination has filled these ruins with dark magic, curses, and phantoms. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought to ponder. Are wandering souls truly trapped in these stone ruins because of a centuries-old curse? Or is this simply the world's most successful 300-year-old rumor? Is it just the enduring, terrifying power of an unexplained history? Whatever the real truth is, Bhangarh remains an absolutely masterful blend of beautiful architecture and terrifying mystery.